Okay, so this video is gonna be maybe a little bit triggering for some people. I'm not sure. It's a little triggering to me to read this, but over the past week or so, there's been quite a few stories on transgender people and women's rights and fairness to women and this and that. Um, I don't know if any of you guys heard about this. I know a lot of people in Toronto and Ontario heard about this. But there's this teacher here that for the past year has identified as a female. He's a male, identified as a female, and he's wearing these ginormous, ridiculous prosthetic breasts with the nipples popping out, wearing extremely, extremely tight clothing, and going to school like this. Now, few weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago, there was a huge uproar. A lot of parents found out about this, were unhappy. A lot of the students had been complaining, like, they have a certain dress code that they have to follow. If they have the wrong shoes, or their kilt is a little too high, or they're not wearing a tie, like they get sent home and they have to fix this. Yet apparently this is okay for staff to be wearing. And so I can understand the uproar and the you know people's not being happy with this. However, just I think 2 days ago, or a few days ago, yeah, so Oakville teacher allowed to continue wearing large prosthetic breasts, school board says. So there was a huge push. A lot of the parents, as I said, voiced their concern, saying, how is this allowed? Like, this is a place of learning. Our kids shouldn't be being exposed to this kind of stuff. I'm sure if, like, this person had naturally large breasts, it may be slightly of a different story. However, this is a man, and he didn't get an operation. He didn't get a boob job. He's just wearing prosthetic fake boobs under all these, like, super, super tight clothing. So it goes on to say, a teacher from Oakville Trafalgar High School will be allowed to continue wearing large prosthetic breasts in class. The Halton District School Board has completed a dress code review after one transgender teacher received international attention. In the report, the Halton District School Board determined that implementing a dress code would be a liability to the board. So they're going to go side with the minority in this situation, even though multiple people have expressed their concern, their discomfort with this, how it shouldn't be allowed. Like, teachers should be held up to a same kind of dress code as students should. It should be a professional dress code. It should be, more, I guess, business-esque. It goes on to say, while the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal has acknowledged the ability of an employer to establish dress code and grooming standards for the purpose of professional business and health and safety reasons, the tribunal has likewise acknowledged that an employer cannot establish standards which, in their application or administration, results in differential treatment on the basis of a protected ground. Now, I don't understand how it results in differential treatment when a standard is a standard. If a student came in not following the standard that you've set students to wear via uniforms or dress codes, then there's repercussions to that. If a teacher doesn't do the same, how is that going to be a result in differential treatment on a basis? The board has requested that the Director of Education provide information on the potential implications which may arise from the decision to implement the staff dress code. It is clear from the above analysis that the implementation of a formal staff dress code or grooming standards would likely expose the board to considerable liability. Again, I don't see how that happens. Come with your hair properly brushed, your teeth cleaned, You don't smell, you shower, this and that. Like, again, you're holding the kids up to a standard, yet you're doing the complete opposite for the people who are teaching these kids, who these kids are having an example for in front of them. It says the tribunal also notes that an employer will have to be prepared to establish that any sex-linked differences within the dress code are bona fide occupational requirements. Otherwise, they will more than likely be found to be discriminatory. Is this a bona fide occupational requirement? This man is teaching in shop class these kids how to use a chop saw or circular saw, whichever one you want to call it. Never are you supposed to have anything close to the blade. And there's a video of this teacher using this chop saw, and these breasts are almost right in the way of using it. Now, I read this and I thought it was quite ridiculous, because there have been other cases where actual female teachers and students are sent home because of that. This one, they call her the teacher Bay, who has a curvy body. This is a natural body, naturally curvy, not she's not wearing prosthetics here. But and this is in Atlanta, Georgia. She got criticism for looking too sexy on the job. Now, she's covered to the top, no cleavage. Yes, it's quite skin tight. But again, that's what a dress is. A dress is usually pretty form-fitting, unless it's like a ball gown. And yeah, this teacher has curves. She's a little bit curvy, and this was in 2016. And she said it's not the dress that's inappropriate, it's the way that people are reacting to it. Now, this is definitely, I would say, distracting for, say the male population or female, but I'd say majority of the male population. If you did come into this class and you saw your teacher like that, don't get me wrong, I would be distracted a little bit by this as well. But this is not her trying. Like, this is ridiculous. Then there was a teenager, a BC teen in a turtleneck laced edge dress, sent home from school for inappropriate outfit. This is inappropriate compared to this? Why is this student being sent home when this guy is able to just walk around in the school? And it shows, there's other videos, you can look this up. There's other videos of him in a classroom, in a theater, or like in a auditorium. He apparently just went skydiving with this outfit. It's getting a little bananas. Now, to some credit, I've heard that the reason he's doing this, there's like maybe some ulterior motive to doing this, where he was, because again, this is recent, it's only been like a year that he's identified as a female, but I think he's just trying to see like how far he can push the envelope and get away with this kind of stuff. But then you're putting these children in the way of your experiment, which that doesn't seem fair to the kids as well. Like, if you want to make your point, then you have to figure out doing it in a different way, instead of making this situation where everyone feels uncomfortable. Nobody likes this. It's ridiculous. And the kids just have to put up with this, So it says a dress code policy for school district. And this is in BC. So this one was in America, in Atlanta, Georgia. This one's in British Columbia. The dress code policy of School District 73 is being called into question after a grade 12 student was sent home for wearing an outfit that included a lace-trimmed dress worn over top a long-sleeve turtleneck shirt. She's completely covered here. Again, there's no cleavage showing. There's no breasts that are popping out. Just like her, no cleavage. This has no cleavage, but I mean, come on. And again, he didn't get breast augmentation. He's wearing prosthetic breasts. Like, do you identify as a woman or do you identify as a big boobed woman? I don't get it. And so she got sent home for that. And then there was another teacher. Now, this lady, curvy teacher slammed for tight, inappropriate outfits and booty pics. I don't know about these booty pics. She definitely has quite a waist ratio to hips and breasts, for sure. However, again, she's all covered up, and I mean, unless you're coming in here, and this is in New Jersey, this is not going to be distracting in any way to, I guess, these children, maybe to some of the other staff. But again, she is a curvy woman. This is her natural body. This isn't some sort of sideshow that she's created in order to look like this guy. And so what that led me to this other situation, which I don't know if you guys have heard, but there was a transgender guy who just won a beauty pageant for Miss America in for Greater Derry, which is in Britain. His name is Brian Nguyen. I think he's going by Brian, but didn't change the spelling at all. So it says a 19-year-old influencer became the first transgender contestant to win a local Miss America beauty pageant. This guy took the prize of this is a scholarship, I believe, and possibly some other type of things. There's a video to it. Let's see if I can get the video to open up.
China is looking to relax its zero COVID.
That's about China. We don't want to see that. Hold on one second. I'm sure I can get this video up. But yeah, you can see in the video these girls, like, yeah, here we go. So this is him getting crowned after winning. It's a short clip. It's not very long. Can we continue watching it?
Can we skip to the good part?
Okay, I don't know if you guys can see these women back here, or girls, going and then clapping. That's sending the wrong message. Would you women not want to have this position, like this award? Like, you entered a female beauty pageant for a reason, right? To win. Would you not be absolutely horrified that this larger to overweight man just won this beauty pageant? Like, my mind is blown that this is a thing, and these girls slash women are clapping this guy on and congratulating him. Contestants between 17 and 24 compete against other women for the title, with the winner going on to vie the title of Miss New Hampshire 2023. In the Instagram post, Brian said she was honored to win the title. And obviously none of these girls, I guess, are going to not clap in this day and age due to maybe them being worried that they can get canceled off something, or maybe they won't be welcomed again to this. But none of these girls should be happy about this. This should never have happened. And again, I'm not a female. I can't, like, I don't participate in these kind of things. It's not my voice who should be really pushing this kind of thing. But and there was this woman who's a previous winner of the pageant that said something. She goes, a biological male and an overweight one at that has just won Miss Greater Dairy in New Hampshire. Brian, who was not even a female name, caked in makeup, nothing like the pretty natural girls that enter the competition, has not only taken first place, they've taken away the chance for a female to have a scholarship and use the prize money for something towards her future. I don't know if I felt like they would be singled. I don't know if they felt like they would be singled out or whether they are really a woke bunch. And this is just getting too ridiculous, too normal. Like, you know, they have there's another gentleman, Dylan, I forget his last name. He's doing like these 100 days on TikTok of being a woman or his womanhood. And he just makes a mockery of like what a woman should be. You have, and then also Dylan, he's been on panels or, you know, been invited to shows on female topics. So I'm like, why do you not have women talking about these situations? I think at one point Dylan has or had a sponsorship from Tampax or tampons. The dude can't have a period. What is he doing with that? Why do you not give that to a woman who can understand that? But this isn't like the craziest thing I've heard, because just this week, a Norwegian man now identifies as a disabled woman using a wheelchair almost all the time. Not only does this person, Jorund Victoria Alma, 53, an able-bodied male who now identifies as a disabled woman. In the interview, he stated that he had always wished he had been born a woman who was paralyzed from the waist down. Do you understand how mentally ill you have to be to say something like that? Because women who are paralyzed from the waist down don't even wish that, I'm sure. This gentleman has no problem using his legs, walking around, running, whatever the case may be, and he's choosing to sit in a wheelchair and use a wheelchair because he says he had wished he had been born a woman who was paralyzed from the waist down. Like, if mental health and mental awareness is such a strong component of what everyone wants to focus on, this is a prime example, because this is not somebody who's mentally sane. Not only is he a man who identifies as a woman or thinks he's a woman, he's a man who identifies as a woman who's paralyzed and he has no disabilities. So it goes on to say, media first announced the trans disability publicly on Facebook. Despite having no physical handicaps, he utilizes a wheelchair almost all the time. In addition to gender dysphoria, he claims to have body integrity disorder, citing a dissociance between how he perceives himself and how his body functions. I have struggled with this every day for my whole life. So walking has been a struggle for you? You think you're not going to have struggles in a wheelchair? I'm not sure if he's aware, but handicap accessibility is not as prevalent as non-handicap accessibility. And yeah, this came out November 1st. So our world is going quite kooky, and I just worry about my daughter growing up in this world. Hopefully there's a hard reset by the time she gets into school. because I know there's a lot of pushback now happening where people are kind of tired of all this. You know, Bill Maher did a fantastic little video on this about how like this curve of how the gay or LGBTQ or trans trends have been like kind of curved. Not to say that being gay is a trend, but this trans thing where it's not just like one or two people. There's like multiple factors now where everyone's just all of a sudden they're all trans. But I mean, this takes the cake. Thinking that you're disabled? Anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this. Again, a little bit of a different video. Sorry if you got triggered by my point. I'd love to hear your points. If you have any rebuttals or if you have anything that you want to bring up and that I missed. Yeah, let me know in the description, the comment section below, and hit subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Catch you guys on the next one.